Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first webcast with the Shopping Federation of the Turkish market. So it's a pleasure to be here with you. And thank you very much for taking the time during your busy scheduled week. For whoever who has celebrated Christmas yesterday, Merry Christmas and Günaydın to everyone. So this is the first series of events that we're going to take place between Microsoft and the Shopping Federation of Turkey. And hopefully it's going to only get better by the time. My name is Rami Faris. I'm responsible for retail and consumer goods across Middle East and Africa. And I'm here to talk to you today about the future of retail. So hopefully this series will bring to you exciting information as well as exciting views on how the retail as a market and as an industry is reshaping itself in the age of digital transformation. So let me walk you through the pitch that we have prepared for you today. So can you please share with me if you all listening to me properly and seeing the slides that is in front of you right now, which says the future of retail? If you just press thumbs up or thumbs down if you're listening and you're seeing the slide appropriately in front of you. Good, so someone has managed to find the thumbs up. 3 have managed to find the thumbs up, that's good. 4, and we're counting, that's good. Okay, so as you probably know all better than me, we are living at the age of digital transformation, and the digital transformation is being the fourth industrial evolution, followed by the evolution that happened on the third industrial evolution, electronics and IT, where we were looking at implementing real-time systems and normal processes system that actually automate the business processes that we have within our IT domain. So we looked at systems like ERP and CRM. Those were the core systems when it comes to the third industrial evolution. Now we're talking about the fourth industrial evolution, which is about digital transformation, where we're looking at emerging technology insertion within our business processes, being IoT, being AI, being blockchain. All of this new emerging technology are allowing us to re-engineer our business processes for the sake of improving our business and really delivering on the digital transformation aspiration. So the World Economic Forum have pulled up together a digital transformation initiative back to 2015, believing in the value that digital transformation add to the GDP growth of countries. So this initiative has actually looked at different industries and has quantified how digital industries can be transformed leveraging the power of digital transformation. So they have created a set of white papers that look at each industry and quantify what is the value that is out there for industries to create leveraging the power of digital transformation. I actually invite all of you to go through the World Economic Forum DTI initiative to look at the content that is available across different industries. I'm going to share with you as part of the discussion today a video that has been put out there by the World Economic Forum that talks about digital transformation being impacted by the power of data. So let's quickly run through the video and hopefully you'll find it interesting to convey the message how the World Economic Forum is seeing digital transformation as one of the GDP strong contributors.
The world has become interconnected at a pace that none of us had expected.
We live in a day and age where we have access to a great amount of data, and we need to leverage that data to really drive insights.
The World Economic Forum launched the Digital Transformation Initiative in 2015. It is a multi-year engagement analyzing the impact of digital transformation on individual sectors, on the enterprise, and on society at large.
It's about the connected world, every device, every person, and it's about data and the data that comes from that connected world. And then it's about the intelligence on top of that, those connected devices and data that are allowing us to rethink experiences for customers and the way the world works.
It can't be appreciated enough how radical a transformation the mobile phone and mobile devices are going to make to organizations around the world.
We are going to see the transformation of governments, of political systems, of institutions, of education.
One of the notable findings of this project is the development of a unique economic framework which actually identifies and quantifies the impact of digital on industry as well as society.
What we can tell is that more value is out there for society than for industry. Roughly $20 trillion is at stake, but actually if you you extrapolate it out, it could be well worth over $100 trillion.
The fascinating thing for brands now is how do you become a valuable part of the dialogue between the product and the consumer?
The expectations of consumers today is instantaneous. If they've thought about it and it hasn't happened yet, you're too late.
Not all is lost for incumbents.
They have more assets than we do. They have people, they have money, they have experience, they have audience.
Companies have to be keenly aware of developments in adjacent sectors and analyze what really the developments are in these other industries.
Those companies that partner, that approach this with an open sensibility are going to get much more value out of their data than those that use traditional business models.
GE is a good example. They seem to be willing to experiment, to be good co-investors, and to, frankly, help a lot of companies that otherwise would have been too small for them to care.
The idea of outcomes becomes very important. For example, with Michelin, the tire company, providing an outcome of more efficient vehicle utilization rather than selling tires.
In our work with one of the leading digital governments in Europe, we've identified that through e-commerce, up to 6.6 days per capita can be saved on a 10-year time horizon. We are now working with this government in public-private collaboration to identify how we can unlock these 6.6 days saved per citizen at an earlier stage.
It's very interesting to see that e-commerce is being called out as one of the most valuable economical activities out there. If you look at the e-commerce and its effect on the retail business, you'll see how much of the e-commerce revenue is driving today value creation at the retail industry. So as you can see from this number, 7.9 billion has been able to be captured through the e-commerce website on the Thanksgiving and the Black Friday, Black Monday as well sales in the US. And these numbers, those are 2017 numbers. These numbers have jumped to 17.8 in 2018. And the fascinating thing about these numbers is 35% of this sales is actually happening on the online as well as through the mobile phones. So and if you move to the other part of the world and you look what's happening in China on the Singles Day, Alibaba has managed to capture $25 billion in one single day sales, which is the Singles Days in China. And this year they have managed to record $30.8 billion in one single day, which is definitely more than $1 billion per hour. And what's fascinating about the Alibaba business model, they manage as well to sell out of this around $6 to $7 billion in car sales online. So if you combine the two stories together and you bring the East to the West, you will see that the e-commerce is affecting the whole global economy, industry growth when it comes to retail. So e-commerce is growing at a faster rate than the physical stores that we know. It's growing at a rate between 12 to 35%, which is fundamentally dependent on how mature the market is in terms of e-commerce adoption, credit card penetration, and all this kind of ecosystem components that is required for e-commerce growth. In 15 years' time from now, analysts expect that the e-commerce is going to completely overtake the physical stores. And what is sad for us is 40% of this additional revenue is actually being captured by the online player of the like of Amazon, Alibaba, and eBay. A major part of what those guys are doing right is they're driving product self-replenishment. They're trying to shorten the cycle between wanting the product and getting the product by making people making instantaneous decisions about their purchasing decisions. So they're trying to push a speaker to your kitchen where you can speak to the speaker to order items that is existing in your shopping cart. They're trying to get the products to reorder themselves. The other day, Sephora have now an SMS campaign that is being pushed to your mobile phone based on the stuff that you bought on the last months and predicting that those stuff has already been consumed and asking you to repeat the order for consumable items. So a major part of what those guys are doing, they're trying to shorten the cycle between wanting the product and getting the product. So Mark Anderson, one of the fundamental investors in startups, and he has been quite right with some of the investment that he has done to the old days like Snapchat and Facebook, has come and said it's likely that the software companies are going to eat up retailers. A major part of his theory, he looked at the market cap that e-commerce players have managed to capture, especially in a market like the US. Today, you see the US market cap, you will see that Amazon is more than 50% of the market cap of the total retail market compared to the other retailers. And if you look at the table, you will see some of the retailers on top of the table have already filed for bankruptcy. So what this stands all of us to believe in is retail going to die, because all of this is tending to go through the direction that e-commerce is going to generate more revenue, and e-commerce has established players versus the physical players like yourself or any other physical player who doesn't have an e-commerce presence. So is retail really going to die? If retail was going to die, then it is likely, it was unlikely for people of the like of Amazon to come and invest in physical stores, of the like of the Whole Food acquisition. So if you look at the Whole Food acquisition and you map those to the demographics of the Amazon Prime members, you will see that the Whole Food distribution as retail outlets overlay with the number of Prime customers or the demographics of the Prime customers that Amazon has. So obviously Amazon has the ambition of leveraging the distribution center of Whole Foods to further improve their Prime customer satisfaction and Prime customer experience. They continue to invest in Amazon bookstores, which is still not a profitable business for Amazon, but they continue to invest in there. And one of the interesting things, if you walk to an Amazon bookstore, you will find no price tags on the items. They push you to use the Amazon mobile app once you walk into the store, because they want to track your purchasing behavior. They want to track your browsing history to further improve the recommendation engine. People who are digitally born, like Warby Parker, who invented the way how we buy prescription glasses online, have gone and invested in stores in the US, and Sparto in France as well have gone and invested in stores in different parts of Europe, which is an online fashion retailer, which we call them digitally born. So the guy who called himself the retail prophet, Doug Steffen, he wrote a book about the age of retail beyond e-commerce. And he says for retailers to be able to compete against the e-commerce players, they have to win on the customer experience. And the only way to be able to beat the e-commerce players is to run your retail business as an art. So throughout his book, which inspired this pitch that we're giving today to you, he articulated like 7 principles how we can deliver on a fascinating customer experience, or a customer experience that deliver retail as an art to be able to compete against retailers. The first principle that he put in the book is stop thinking product, start thinking production. He's talking here about the notion of bringing your best act to your retail physical space. So if you look today, for example, as an analogy, you look at the music industry, you will see most of the players in the music industry, they make more money out of their public appearance through concerts rather than record sales. Record sales today is being driven by Spotify, Apple Music, and other music subscription business that is actually not driving much of the top line revenue for those players. What they're getting their money from right now is out of physical appearance, such as concerts, and which tells you something about Generation X and Generation Y. They love physical appearance. They love to be seen out there, and they love to interact with the brand and the people they like. The second concept that he put in his book, don't build stores, build stories. And here he's talking about the fact that we have to create a customer experience through our physical store that articulate a customer journey, rather than having a widely spread customer experience journey within our physical store. And a good example to talk about in here is Story, that was a store in the US that's being picked up as an acquisition by Macy's for Macy's to be able to reinvent their physical store experience. So Story in the US, what they used to do, they used to revamp the whole store experience based on the product that they're selling on quarterly basis. So they used to create a story around the different SKUs that they used to have on shelf. I invite you to visit the Story website to get a feeling of how they reinvent themselves around customer experience. The third principle that he put out there is don't conduct commerce, create communities. And here, the best example to talk about is people of the like of Airbnb, Uber, Facebook. Those guys, when you look at their financial statement, what they're reporting that is so strongly contributing to the market cap is actually they're reporting subscriber per network. Uber is reporting the number of drivers and riders that they have on the network, and this is how they create value to their investors. And the value exists out there as well for you to be able to create communities through their website. Rather than creating simply an e-commerce website, you have to think about how the customers is going to use your product in their lifestyle, and how to create use case scenarios that connect the product to the lifestyle of your customers, so that your customers can come and develop more bonding relationship with your brand. building communities around the grocery business by offering recipes, building communities around do-it-yourself by offering videos that shows customers how they can use the tools that they buy from your store. The fourth concept is about leveraging the power of data that we have across the different customer touch points. So don't sell to mass, sell to me. Our customers are pushing us every day to bring the art of personalization to everything that they do with us. So they want to receive targeted campaigns that are more relevant to their needs. They want to receive campaigns that are more relevant to what they have bought before. They want to receive campaigns that reflect the data that you have got to know about them through your POS, through your loyalty systems, through the e-commerce profile that they have on your website. All of this needs to be leveraged in order to bring hyper-personalization in the way we interact with our customers. The sixth concept he mentioned in the book, don't measure revenue, but rather measure experiences. We have enough people in the retail business concerned about revenue per square foot. What we need to bring as a new KPI to reflect behavior change of our store associate is to start to measure experience per square foot. By doing this, you can compensate and motivate your store associate to deliver differentiated customer experience when it comes to customer interaction. So again, it's very important for you to be able to change behavior, to insert a KPI that affects people compensation for them to change behavior the way you want them to change behavior at. The sixth concept is about forget the Petri dish and use a palette. And here he was talking about how we should decompose our customer journey through the different customer touch point and insert technology where it makes sense, whether to add a wow factor to the customer experience or to remove the customer friction out of, for example, a point of sale. If you think about the whole Amazon Go concept, what they have resold the experience about is they didn't want customers to queue at the point of sale by the time they check out from a convenience store. So what they have done, they created a complete store that detects your presence. You scan your mobile through your Amazon mobile app, and once you scan your mobile, your Amazon Prime subscription is attached to your subscription and your billing method, and you go and kind of forklift item from the shelf and put those in the basket, and you self-check out from the store. This is how they reimagine the whole customer journey and remove the friction which existed at the customer point of sale. The seventh concept that he has put in the book is once you pull all of this together, your store associate need to be rehearsed around certain customer experience that you want to deliver at large in order to bring consistency to your brand values. So if we list all the 7 concepts together for you to capture those in one slide, stop thinking product, start thinking production, don't build stores, build stories, don't conduct commerce, create communities, don't sell to mass, sell to me, which is the art of personalization, don't measure revenue, but rather measure experience per square foot, forget the Petri dish and use a palette to decompose the customer journey, and don't train rehearse. This will deliver what he called in his book the super customer experience. It is surprising, which means that the customer is not expecting to get such an experience at your physical store. It is unique. It differentiates yourself across competition. It is personalized. It leverages the power of data to create an experience that the customer would think it has been created only for himself. It's engaging. It tries to bring in the power of digital technology to engage the customer 5 senses at your store, whether it is augmented reality, virtual reality, digital touchscreen. It is repeatable. It is engineered in such a way that you can create it across your different store outlets, across your network. So let me show you how real this customer experience can be to deliver on this notion of super customer experience. So I will run a video across you guys that represent the Microsoft vision for retail, or basically how we are reimagining retail, leveraging the power of digital technology, to show you that actually today we can deliver on something. So this is how technology can actually allow you to connect the physical to the digital world, to bring this notion of phygital world to your brand. So digital transformation, as we said at the beginning, is actually a business transformation. So it has to be coupled with a culture change within the organization. And in here we're reflecting on what Albert Einstein has said before. He said you cannot actually solve the problems using the same mindset that you have had when creating the problem. So for us to be able to go through a digital transformation, we have to embrace this culture of innovation. Innovation is about the art or the fact of creating new idea or device or method. For you to be able to drive innovation across the organization, there is a stepwise approach for you able to do that. So for example, the first thing that you need to do in order to establish creativity and innovation across the organization is to start to test for creativity. So there are some tests out there that you can use across your team, such as the Torrance test, for example, that you can use to identify who are the people who still have the innovative mindset. And once you identify those people, you put them through training in order to nurture their creativity. And once you nurture that creativity, you push them to create new ideas or new ways of doing business or new business processes that you have to reward for their own merit. Because if you wait for the business idea to be rewarded once it goes live, people will lose interest in creating further ideas into your business. And once you have this in place, you kind of cultivate a culture of innovative mindset, where you start seeing change of behavior or change of type of questions that we bring to the meeting, using the power of what if, the power of why not, the power of the script, changing the script. So again, if you look at the way Uber has reinvented how we book taxis and we book cabs, it's exactly by looking at the script of the customer experience, how people jump into cabs by walking out of the buildings and waving to cabs. So they resought this by changing the script of the whole customer experience in renting cabs. So all of this will allow you to produce those small prototypes that allow you to go first to create a competitive advantage for your business. While doing all of this, you have to keep an eye out there to benchmark yourself laterally. At the age of digital transformation, your competition is likely to come from a different player outside your category. So today, when you look at Airbnb and how they came into the hospitality business, they don't have any of the assets of different hospitality players other than them do have, like hotel assets or resorts assets. They don't have this. What they created community, and through mobile app, they allowed people who do have houses to reach out to people who are interested when they go in a trip to live in a house similar to ours, so they can book their houses by connecting through the mobile app. So again, the fact that your competition is going to come from a lateral product category has to keep you up and awake to see what's happening in the disruptive market in terms of technology. The second concept is don't build networks, build empires, because it is likely that the most creative ideas that you have in your organization sits with people who are low in the organization hierarchy. So that's why you have to build networks. You have to embrace things like enterprise social at scale to allow people to bring ideas to the top management, leveraging the power of customer interaction that they have every day. And then we talked as well about the fact that digital transformation is about business process re-engineering. So it gives you the opportunity to go back, revisit your business processes or your business process to look how you can re-engineer those by inserting the power of technology. So let me run a quick video with you that shows how we can connect the power of disruptive technology to innovation.
Retail industry is undergoing a period of rapid change. Our research shows to stay relevant, retailers recognize the need to innovate. This need is driven primarily by digital technologies. Today's digitally empowered customers demand more ways to buy, and a more engaging path to purchase. Add new competition, and retailers' relevance is being questioned. Together, these factors can create a burning platform threatening the future of even established brands. The most innovative retail businesses employ an integrated horizontal structure, embrace a culture of change, support agile, collaborative teams, and dedicate resources and investment to innovation. A business environment fostering new ideas opens a world of innovation opportunities. Mobility, where connecting to customers' mobile devices and mobile point of sale and digital kiosks in store means improved customer engagement and service. Internet of Things. RFID, beacon, and other connected technologies help you better understand your customer and your business. And big data, advanced data analytics to enhance your business decision making. But not all retail businesses are innovation ready. Retailers recognize there can be forces blocking innovation. The Retail Innovation Index shows how ready your business is. Retail businesses operating vertically in silos with ineffective decision-making, using old-school approval processes and resourcing, feeling too big to move, can stifle innovation and the ability to execute new ideas. Too many retailers today are left wondering how to innovate and stay relevant. Retailers need to hand-pick technology partners who can help them navigate the emerging digital landscape and maximize new opportunities. Innovation in retail. Keep innovating and keep your customers coming back.
I hope this video has managed to land the message how disruptive technology can be connected to the art of innovation to drive new use case scenarios and improve customer experience at large across your retail operational business. So the way we think about digital transformation at Microsoft, we have worked our consulting piece together with McKinsey on this, where we have looked at digital transformation for it to be a holistic business approach across organization. It has to focus on 4 pillars. Those 4 pillars being your employees, your customers, your operation, and your product. So how we can help you engaging better with your customer to deliver on this notion of super customer experience. How we can help you empower employees so they have the right access to the right information at the right time on the right device for them to transform into brand ambassadors rather than only store associates. How we can help you optimize your operation to be able to match your customer expectation that has been set so high by Amazon Prime. How we can help you transform your products for you to be able to capture new revenue stream or to create new business models that capture outcomes rather than the regular business models that we have today. So imagine your grocery business transforming into a subscription business. So let me share with you some of the customer stories that we have handpicked for this conversation that show you how we have helped other customers that are coming from the physical world as well as the digital world. So ASOS is one of those fashion retailers that is digitally born. And ASOS, from its inception, it runs completely on the Microsoft Azure cloud, leveraging the power of our artificial intelligence across the board. Using the power of artificial intelligence, you can create new scenarios that can help you delivering on your notion of the store of the future. Lots of retailers across are considering the store of the future as the way to revamp their store experience. So again, lots of the store of the future use case scenarios can be delivered leveraging the power of artificial intelligence, as well as leveraging the power of connected technology that you can insert at the different customer touch point. Jet.com, which is an online commerce that has been acquired by Walmart to be able to compete against Amazon, run completely on Azure and deliver the notion of dynamic pricing using artificial intelligence of Microsoft and machine learning. So again, Jet.com is one of those online pages that actually Walmart is using to compete fiercely with Amazon. And you probably have seen Walmart partnering with Microsoft on such a bigger global scale to move the Walmart.com and Sam Cards, all the loyalty program from Walmart to be able to compete against Amazon on the Microsoft technology platform. The other use case scenarios as well that we have here is the Otto, which is actually an online retailer out of Denmark that sell different products and leverage the power of artificial intelligence to implement at scale product replenishment. Because once you create this e-commerce website, the whole notion of omni-channel becomes very important for you to be able to deliver on customer expectation. Other story from the physical stores, and this is how we can interact better with our customers on the shelf level by creating this notion of connected shelves and pushing the customers to use their mobile app across the physical world. This will allow you to offer targeted campaigns, targeted prices, and identify the customer based on their loyalty tier, so you can tier your discounts according to the customer lifecycle value. So lots of stories exist out there where Microsoft have helped retailers to be able to stay on par with the digitally native players of the like of Amazon. More stories you can find out there on the Microsoft website, but I wanted to share with you those 2 book titles that have inspired our conversation with you today. One of them is talking about how Microsoft itself is going through the age of digital transformation. And you're probably witnessing with us the success that we're making through our stock price since Satya Nadella came on board in 2014. So one of the things that he has done, he wrote this book that walks you through how he's driving the digital transformation across Microsoft, which gives you, I hope, inspirational story for you to drive your own. The other book that we have used in this presentation is Re-Engineering Retail, which is the one written by Doc Stephan that looks at how retail is going to reshape itself beyond the age of e-commerce. So again, this is the book that we have used to set the principles of this presentation. I've left behind few links in here for you to leverage more the power of knowledge and technology that is out there. Microsoft has democratized access to learning, especially on the AI, by creating the AI School, which is a free of charge AI school where your people can go and sign up for AI training, where you can transform your DBA, your data analyst, into your first batch of data scientists. Other website I wanted to share with you is the Microsoft Translator app, which is, again, I have used it in so many interactions with you guys in Turkey, and I've got very positive feedback at how the tool has been good enough in translating Microsoft PowerPoint slides into Turkish language. So this is something that you can use at your PowerPoint presentation to translate slides on the fly, or translate even your pitch and put its subtitles attached to your slides while you're presenting those. Very, very cool technology that we're bringing at scale as part of our Microsoft 365. So those are a few links I wanted to leave behind with you just to drive the notion of innovation and inspire you further to the art of digital transformation across your industry. As a typical Egyptian, I overrun the presentation by 3 minutes, but please feel free to share with me any questions that you would like to have it answer as part of the Q&A session. Else, we're going to go ahead and close this webinar, and we appreciate your presence and attendance. And the team is going to share with you a follow-up email that includes the slide that we have discussed with you through this webinar that is mapped to Point Drive on LinkedIn. Good. So I just got to know that the webinar is actually scheduled to run for 1 hour, so we still have half an hour for Q&A if you want to go through your set of questions. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the tool, but you can find the link called Q&A where you can post your questions. Yeah, I'm getting. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Gonka. Thank you, Efe. I promise you that the following webinars will even be more fruitful and useful to you guys. We have lined up a good list of good presenters and good speakers that hopefully will bring even further wisdom to this conversation and help you maneuver through the art of digital transformation for retail. So please stay tuned and follow up on the webinar invite session, and hopefully the next webinars will be even better than this one. We have lined up a speaker who will speak to you in full about the power of AI in retail business across retail operation as well as customer experience. So hopefully throughout this webinar, you will hear about what are the use case scenarios, or basically the business improvements that you can bring across your operation, you're leveraging the power of artificial intelligence. Another webinar that we have prepared for you is a webinar by Kroger, which is actually a customer and a partner in the same time. And again, in the age of digital transformation, we see lots of customers transforming to be our partners, leveraging the power of the digital platform. So again, this is an opportunity for you to hear the story from the source, from Kroger, one of the major grocery retailers out of the US. The other workshop that we have prepared for you as part of this webinar series is a workshop by one of our major retailer conglomerate out of UAE that has gone through the digital transformation journey with Microsoft, that will be able to articulate to you the value of this journey and what are the key lessons learned in there. So this is a very good question I got from Burak. So he's talking about what are the stories that we have seen in Turkey. So again, we continue to see lots of DT stories happening in Turkey. Again, Turkey is a very special market, very close to my heart, because it's very actually similar to the Egyptian market. You have wide leverage of resources and competence across the board, and at the same time, you have lots of local production happening coupled with local consumption. So again, they're saying, again, they're leveraging lots of power in there to create different stories. We have seen stories being created at fashion retailers. So Penti is one of them. We've seen stories creating at the grocery retailers. Some of them can be disclosed, others cannot be disclosed. So we're seeing lots of actually transformation happening, especially in the e-commerce business. Most of the retailers that we speak to today in Turkey, they talk to us about how we can help them increasing their top line revenue captured out of e-commerce. So we're going through lots of data center transformation conversations through retailers in Turkey to further improve their e-commerce experience and further help them to drive a higher percentage of top-line revenues through the e-commerce. So I think wherever we go, e-commerce is becoming top of mind for the Turkish retailers. The second thing is lots of Turkish retailers as well are talking to us about the notion of the store of the future. Again, I don't want to mention some of the retailers in Turkey in order not to undermine the others, but you can see that especially the luxury retailers, they're using technology at the retail shops in order to improve customer experience. And we're seeing as well lots of disruption happening at the last mile delivery coupled with the e-commerce motion. So Burak, I would love to as well to catch up with you further on this discussion, to disclose with you in confidence what are the stories that we have out there in Turkey market as well as in similar markets that is similar to the macroeconomics of the Turkish market. So again, we're seeing lots of growth happening in there. And again, the Turkish players want to create further revenue in non-Turkish currency in order to mitigate the currency risk. And hence they're using e-commerce to grow outside Turkey as well. Thank you everyone for attending the webinar, and thank you for taking the time at the end of your fiscal year or calendar year close. And I wish you all a happy new year. Unfortunately, I don't know how to say happy new year in Turkish, but I will definitely learn that. And günaydın everyone, have a great rest of the day. Thank you.